So I'm here with my dad, and he was a business professor for 15
We gotta
years
listen
at
to
the
Pappy.
graduate school level, and he's convinced that TikTok is not getting shut down. So despite all the stuff we've been seeing on TikTok about people being very convinced it's going to be shut down, why do you disagree with them?
Thanks, Megan. I think the biggest possible reason for this ban not being implemented is really just the size and the footprint of TikTok, the millions of users, the $10 billion in annual revenue, the projected value of the organization at $100 billion. I frankly just can't imagine that some private equity group or VC group isn't in the background already working on taking over TikTok. Sure, the Chinese government has said we can't sell TikTok because of the proprietary nature of the technology. These kinds of things, to me, it seems like a lot of bluster around something that in the end, the financial value will prevail. And to see China, or frankly, some of the U.S. firms that are interested, walk away from this deal would be a great surprise to me. I was so convinced of this that I was willing to even suggest the idea of a wager among friends that this would not happen. At the very most, I could see a 2 to 4 week disruption in the technology while things are being worked out. But at the end of the day, I can't imagine that a shutdown would last any longer than that. There are a lot of different possible scenarios here. Many have said this really hinges on the Supreme Court. I don't think that's accurate either. I think it's a lot more likely that we'll see a deal come together in the background, or potentially, given the timing of this proposed disruption at January the 19th, literally the day before Donald Trump takes over as president, I think it's also quite likely that President Biden would create some kind of a 60 or 90-day sort of a stay to work things out as the presidency gets handed off. So it would really surprise me, again, if things were disrupted for TikTok any more than about 2 weeks. And I don't even think that's going to happen.
I would actually have to agree with this. I thought about it the other day and I was like, there's too much money on the table. The only hiccup is, will China, the government, approve of it being sold? Because they would have to approve of it. But if you think about it, Americans really carry this app on their back. Yeah, there's, Canadians and everyone else. And I think that people from outside of the US feel like, oh, well, we may have access to the Creator Fund and blah, 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 blah. No, they would lose too much money for them to even be able to pay out any more money. They would already be in a loss with America not being on this app. And that's not me being cocky or anything like that. It's just the reality is that American influencers and the American people bring so much to the app. It would be very hard for them to overcome that, which is why the TikTok ban in the US is such a huge deal, because it's a huge loss. Again, $10 billion in revenue. No other country can say that they are doing that on this app. So that should say a lot. And also, TikTok Shop doesn't work in a lot of other countries either, right? You have to keep that in mind. There's so many things that I do think that this is true. We'll have to see how it plays out. Either way, we got to roll with the punches, I see a lot of people looking and seeming hopeless. And I will say this as a creator that has built a decent platform on here. Um, it's nothing to blink your eyes at to build a platform, because it does definitely take hard work and dedication. Um, but if I've done it before, I could do it again. And I think we all need to kind of look at it that way, even if it does get banned. Also, and for the people who are saying, oh, well, I was kind of hoping that this app would be gone by the time my kid would get older so they wouldn't be exposed to so much. The reality is, there's going to be another app where your kid will be exposed even more. And you'd appreciate TikTok for being filtered to an extent. Once doors have opened, they don't generally close. In fact, they just get wider. And, when it comes to our kids, I feel like, we want to guide them, but we don't really want to control them. And I'll say that because I feel like I grew up with parents that were really controlling. And as I had my daughter, I realized, I don't want to control her. I want to guide her, and I want her to be able to make the right decisions. But controlling her all the time, just, once they have the opportunity to do what they want, then they tend to become a wild child. So, just guide them and do your best and leave the rest up to God and what you have done to raise them. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye bye for now.